of Israel through Moses. They had been liberated from the Egyptian bondage in the Sinai Peninsula. They were marching from one oasis to another, and they were supposed to do that for 40 years. 40 years, on and on and on and on and on, till the older generation, the people who had worshipped the golden calf, would perish. A new generation would go into Palestine. That was the philosophy behind marching for 40 years. In the desert, the Jews, the children of Israel, they needed a law that would give them quick justice. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Beautiful law. In the desert, it's a beautiful law. The adulterer and the adulteresses stone them to death. Anybody picking a firewood, doing any work on the Sabbath day, Yom Saturday, kill him, stone him to death. That's the only language they could understand. A rebellious people, as Moses describes them. He says, behold, a stiff-necked people. This is Moses, the prophet, saying, a stiff-necked means arrogant people. He says, ye, you have been rebellious against the Lord since the day I knew you. This is your tradition from the very beginning. Since I know you, you are like that. For such a people, you need a law, hard law, stern law. It's a beautiful law. The law is made for your needs. So eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. You were trying to chase the birds from the field with that old-fashioned sling of yours, the one that David used. And the stone which you let go went and damaged somebody's eye. So this other Jew will go to the judge and says, look, this fellow here, he damaged my eye. The law says, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. I want to have his eye damaged. He broke my tooth, break his teeth. This was the law, nothing wrong with it. For a type of people in the desert, you need a law that will give you quick justice, no time to waste, no lengthy litigations, no prisons that you can put the guy in. Quick justice, get rid of the guy and the social character and move on. There's work to be done. This guy has an adultery, he committed adultery. Your law, the Jewish law, allowed the guy unlimited number of wives. Why did you interfere with somebody else's wife or daughter? You deserve to die. There's no prisons in the desert. Leaving the guy in the desert to die of hunger and thirst was more cruel than getting rid of him by stoning him. Get rid of him, and he becomes an object lesson for others. See what happens? You do the same, you go the same way. This is the philosophy of the law. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Beautiful law. But laws have a tendency to change characters of people over a period of time. Any law, every law. I come from a color-conscious country, South Africa. Everything is based on color. The South African government, in the apartheid policy, they graded us into blacks, coloreds, Indians and whites. And that part for 300 years, almost. White man, colored man, Indian man, and African man. Then they divided the black further. First is white and black. Everyone who is a European is white. Everyone who is not a European is black. No matter how white you look. Where do you come from? You come from Lebanon. If you are a Muslim, you are black. If you come from Lebanon, you are a Christian, you are white. If you come from Syria, no matter how white you look, whiter than many English people, some Syrians look, You come from Syria, you are a Christian, you are white. If you are a Muslim, you are black. You come from Cyprus, you are a Greek, you are white, no matter how dark you are. The Turk with blonde hair and blue eyes, he's black. Well, look, this is the last laugh you're going to have, because that system is now officially abolished in the country. But I'm just giving you history now. This is up to yesterday. This was so. Now, once you have such a law, your mind is working on basis of color. I have had hundreds of whites, Jews and Christians coming to my home. And I enjoy feeding people. Our hospitality, our food, our bhajias and samosas, they lap it up. The white man, the white woman, they eat like mad. I said, in English terminology, they hog it. And when they part, they thank me profusely. The white people are good. They thank you profusely. You know, we enjoyed everything, the chat as well as the food. But subsequently, when they meet me in the street, they say, "Good morning, Mr. DEEDAT." I say, "Good morning." I say, "How's the wife?" I say, "She's very fine." "How the family?" Is very good. But no white man has invited me to his house for a cup of tea yet. So I'm asking the guys, I said, "Don't you people know anything, such a thing as reciprocation?" Huh? You uncultured, barbaric people, you don't know reciprocation? No, you know. You know reciprocation. Then how is it that you eat my food, you enjoy my food, but you don't call me for a cup of tea at your house? Why? I know the reason why. That color consciousness. If he invites me and my family, and I go to the elite, we are all separated into races. The white man living in his area, the Indian in his area, the colored in his area, and the African in his reserves. So if he invites me, and I go with my family with our type of dressing, Pakistani or Hindustani Muslims, the way we dress, long pants for the ladies and nice downy covering the body and all that, long dress. And I go and knock at the door. I find number 10 Downing Street there, and I go and knock at the door, and the gentleman or the lady of the house, she opens the door and recognizes, "Oh, Mr. DEEDAT, come in. We are so happy you're visiting us." And we get into the house. People were watching. The other wives were watching. Somebody watering the garden, somebody doing some hoeing in the garden. They were watching. So where is this coolie going with his family? Hey, what is this guy doing around here? You know? And look at that Mrs. Smith, the way she smiles at this coolie. You know, what's going on? And we go inside, maybe a cup of tea and something little more than a cup of tea, some biscuits and things like that. And half an hour goes, an hour goes, and tongues begin to wag. They want to know what's going on. What is Mrs. Smith doing with this coolie family? And if any relations of Mrs. Smith or Mr. Smith comes into the house, this Mr. Smith must go out of his way to explain our presence there. It won't be like one English people to another say, "Look, this is Mr. Brown and Mrs. Brown." No. He must say, "Look, this is Mr. DEEDAT, and we went to his house, and his hospitality, he fed us with wonderful food, and he must now, actually he's apologizing for my presence, my family's presence there." He knows that. So at the back of the mind, the color is coming in. So he eats my food, but he never gives me a cup of tea. Not that he doesn't know reciprocation, sociability, he knows all that. But that's only between white and white, not between brown and white. Difference. So laws have a tendency to change the characters of people. Hitlerite Germany, a land of Goethe and Beethoven, a very cultured nation, a Christian nation. They incinerated 6 million Jews. Some say it's a fib. I said even 600 is bad enough. On racial grounds, you want to kill people because they are Jews or they are Indians or whatever. I say unforgivable. If they commit murder, you can hang him, okay. The gas chamber, okay. If he's a rapist, chop off his head, I said okay. Whether Jew or Christian or Muslim or anybody. But you kill a man because he's a Jew. He didn't choose himself to be a Jew. He was born into the world a Jew, in the home of a Jew. He had no voluntary choices. Look, I'll go and be born in the home of a Jew. He didn't decide that. It's just a matter of accident that he happens to be a Jew, and you kill him for that. 606 unforgivable on the basis of race. But they say 6 million, they say let's accept 6 million. You start wondering, how can such a cultured nation as the Germans, the land of Goethe and Beethoven, do such a horrible crime? That's very easy if you are programmed that way. Over a period, these Jews, these are parasites, they are Christ killers, they kill our God. And it has been happening for 1,000 years. In Europe, in Russia, in Poland, in France, in Britain, every Easter the Christian goes on to a rampage. He says, these are Christ killers, they kill our God. So they kill their men, they rape their women and burn their homes. And they fled. Where do they go to? To Arab lands. And what does the Arab say? Ahlan wa sahlan. Wallah, that's his nature, that's his culture. Meaning family and playing. Just